Hi everyone, this is Miss Tom with another Math Minute video. Remember, pause the video when you're working on the Math Minute, and then when you're ready, unpause and we'll talk about it together. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started on number one. Number one is a distribution problem, so we're going to make sure we can distribute by distributing that 5. Notice how I'm drawing that arrow first, then drawing another arrow and saying 5 times 3b, that is 15b. We've got our answer. Make sure you box it. Can we combine these values? The answer is no, because they are unlike terms. Next, let's go over number 2. We've got 3x squared plus 2x squared. We notice that they are the same term value because they're x squared values, so we're going to say that is 5x squared. Why is it 5x squared? Because they are both the same value of x squared. Continuing on, we're going to be multiplying many values. Remember, with multiplying, we don't need to have combining like terms because it is simply telling us how many groups there are of something. So we've got 2, 3, 6. Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to do the math in my head. 2 times 3 is 6, right? And then 6 times 4 is going to be what? That's going to be 24. Then we're going to figure out there are 3 y's. Now, a common mistake is to write there are 3 y's, but remember y plus y is 3y, whereas when you're multiplying is known as exponents. So we've got 24y to the third power, and that's the answer. Next thing is we're going to find the number. 3 times a number plus 8 is 38. So let's write down what that means. That we've got 3 times a number, 3x, plus 8, okay, is, remember, is means equal to. Then we're going to go ahead and draw the line here. All right, we can try to figure it out on our own. 3 times some number plus 8 is 38. You might be able to guess that's equal to 10. Or you can actually just go ahead and solve the problem where you're like, oh, this I can subtract 8 by both sides. This goes adios. Then we're over here. We've got 3x is equal to 30. And then you can see that we still get an answer of 10 by solving the equation. Now you could have just used mental math to figure that out, or the equation. Whatever works well for you, you use that method. Next, let's go over number 5. Number 5, we've got another equation. So we've got 3x plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 45. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and combine those values. 6x plus 3x, that's going to be 9x plus 9 is equal to 45. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice that down in the middle. Because it's an equation keeping that balanced, we're going to go ahead and take away 9 from both sides. This goes away. 0 pair that out. We've got 9x is equal to 45 minus 9, that is 36. Then we're going to go ahead and divide by 9, and we get x is equal to 4. Alright, if x is equal to 4, that is our answer. Voila, very nice work. Now let's continue. Number 6. Number 6, we've got y to the third power is equal to 64. So how do you figure out what y is? Well, y to the third power means y times y is equal to 64. So how do you figure out what y is? Well, we're going to do something that's called the cube root. Cube root is just a fancy way of saying some number times itself 3 times is equal to 64. And we've got to figure out what that number is. So at this point, you do like a trial and error where you'd be like, okay, 1 doesn't work, 2 doesn't work, 3 doesn't work, and then you look and you figure out, does 4 work? And you go, yes, it does. By the way, sorry about that pop-up. Miss Tom has been learning ukulele, and sometimes the pop-ups occur when there's new songs. Have you guys been learning any music lately? I hope so. Music is really great for the soul, and also it's really fun in general. So hope you guys are playing music. All right, let's go over number 7 now. It says find the lowest common denominator between 1/3 and 3/8. So we are looking for a denominator. So we've got to figure out what are some multiples of 3. Some multiples of 3 keep going on. What you're going to notice is that your multiples of 3 are not going to get there very soon. We're going to keep finding out our multiples of 3. Okay. It looks like, if we're writing down all the multiples here. Ah, we found it. It looks like when we have a multiple of 24, that is our least common denominator. That's the smallest multiple. So 24 is the right answer. Next, we're going to try to figure out which one has the greatest positive value for x. Now, just so you guys know, this is slightly tricky because you're like, which one will have the greatest value? Well, to think about this question, we've really got to figure out what do these denominators mean. Now, what we learned in the past is it's actually like kind of hard to understand sometimes. So I'm going to write it as like numbers like this that are a little bit easier to understand. So out of all those numbers, which fraction is the biggest? 1/2, 1/3, or 1/4? I'm going to let you guess which one is the biggest. The biggest is actually going to be 1/2, right? And what you notice about this is that all the denominators can be compared. Which one is the biggest value? Well, 1/2 is the biggest value. But what do you notice about the number 2 in comparison to 3 and 4? 2 is the smallest number. Therefore, the smaller the denominator, the greater the value. So we're going to look at number 8 and we're going to try to figure out which one has the smallest denominator, because that is actually going to give us the bigger value. It means that it is cut into less pieces. So, which one is it? Well, we can see that 1/2 is A, this is a little bit bigger, that's a little bit smaller, this is even smaller, and this is actually the smallest. Therefore, it is the largest in value because the denominator is the smallest. All right. Hopefully you understood that. If you didn't, remember, Ms. Tom has office hours. You can talk to her about that. Okay, next, let's go over number 9. It says x is equal to -2, y is equal to 4. So this one in particular, I really want to make sure you guys use your parentheses to substitute. So it says -x, right? But I'm actually going to put parentheses there and then write -2. Then once again, that's another negative value. So once again, I'm putting in parentheses -x, which is -2, and then we're going to put y, which is 4. Does everybody see that? So now we're going to go ahead and figure out negative times a negative is going to be a positive, so that's going to be +2. Then we've got a negative times a negative, which is -2. But then we've got -2 times 4, which is going to be, or sorry, +2 times 4, which is going to be 8, so it's going to be +8. And so our answer will be equal to 10. All right, and then finishing up here, we've got which of the following is not the same as the others. Well, remember that percent means out of 100. So we've got 41 over 100. We've also got 41 hundredths. I'm going to rewrite that 100. I don't like the way it looks. 41 over 100. Then we've got 41 hundredths, because that's how you read as a decimal. 41 hundredths. Then over here, another 41 over 100. And then lastly, this one is actually read as 41 thousandths because it's in the thousandths place. So The one that does not fit is D. All right, very nice work today, everybody. Today's was a little bit more complicated than the other ones, but hopefully you understood it. If not, let me know and I will talk about it with you. All right, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time for the next Math Minute.